Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Maddie's Nutrition Mailbag. I have a few questions of the day to cover today, including fiber, reading the food labels on things, talking about heartburn or GERD, acid reflux, and then a breakdown of the Impossible Whopper, which kind of has uh, a sort of health halo around it. And I'm going to sort of talk about the nutrition of it and the pros and the cons of the Impossible Whopper and just the whole Impossible meat product. So 12:31, I'm going to get started. Welcome to anybody who has hopped on. So the first question that I have gotten over the week is asking about fiber. I'm going to post on the comments of this video the link to one of my mailbags where I went into detail with fiber about, more specifically where you can get it from. But I will cover, the basics right now because somebody was asking. Most of us in the US don't get enough fiber. Fiber is a indigestible starch carbohydrate that is found only in plant foods. So it's not found in meat, it's not found in dairy, it's not found in eggs, it's not found in cheese, only in plant foods. So when I say plant foods, that's not just fruits and vegetables, that's also beans, that's legumes, whole grains like brown rice, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, oatmeal, popcorn, and then nuts and seeds. So like I said, most of us don't get enough fiber in our diet. Women need about 25 grams a day and men need about 38 grams. And we need fiber for a variety of reasons. Just because it's indigestible and is excreted through the body doesn't mean that it doesn't do a lot of good stuff for us. It helps with satiety, so it helps to fill us up and make us feel full, and helps to keep us full for longer. It helps to control blood sugar levels, so slows the release of sugar into our bloodstream for more sustainable energy and to avoid that high, sharp blood sugar spike when we have refined, simple carbohydrates. Helps to feed our healthy gut bacteria to promote a healthy gut. Helps with healthy BMs, so can help with both constipation and diarrhea. And it also does help to regulate cholesterol levels. So, like I said, it's only found in plant foods. Women need 25 grams, men need 38 grams a day. My recommendations for if you're trying to increase fiber in your diet is to do it slowly. If you just start loading in the fiber when your body hasn't been used to having a ton of fiber, it can lead to constipation. So start slowly. Ask yourself if you're having at least one fiber containing food at every meal and snack even too. So ask yourself if you're having some sort of whole grain, if you're having some sort of fruit, vegetable, legumes, nuts, seeds in all of your meals. As you start to increase fiber in your diet, make sure that you're drinking plenty of water too, at least 8 cups a day, because that's going to help to reduce the risk of being constipated as you increase your fiber in your diet. The next question was on reading the food labels. Again, I in my last nutrition mailbag, I did a whole video on this. So I will again post that link in here in the comments after this video. It'll link you to my YouTube page where I have a whole video on breaking down the nutrition facts label and the ingredients list, what to look for, what to keep low, what to keep high. But I'll touch on it again. Some people, or it's really easy to just look at the front label of your food and be swayed and read the labels and be swayed to think that it's healthy or to think that it's not healthy. Foods are marketed to sell, so that front label is going to have colors, it's going to have pictures, it's going to have phrases, claims to try to get you to buy that product. So with that being said, those front labels can be really deceiving. The only way that you can really look into what the food is all about, if it's really nutritious, if it's less nutritious, what's in it, is by looking at the nutrition facts label and the ingredients list. That's it. So foods, certain foods may say low fat. Yes, it might say it on the front. Yes, it might be low in fat. That doesn't automatically mean that it's a healthy food. A bag of Skittles is low fat. So just keep that in mind. Another example is when it says low in calories. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Is when it says low in calories. So if you think about like the 100-calorie packs of Oreos, those that's is low in calories, but that doesn't mean it's a nutritious food. Same thing goes for, foods that are high in calories. There are plenty of nutritious foods that are high in calories. If you think about peanut butter or any sort of nuts or seeds or avocado or olive oil, those are very high or rather high calorie foods, but they're so good for you. So just another example of how those labels on the front can be really deceiving. Something that says wheat, like if you're buying bread and it says wheat bread, most bread is made of wheat. So that doesn't mean it's whole wheat. That doesn't mean it contains a lot of fiber. Um, a pack of white Wonder Bread can say wheat on the front, and that is true because it's made of wheat. Um, but sometimes, um, food manufacturers will put wheat on the front label because in consumers' minds, a lot of the time it's like, oh, it's wheat. That means it's healthy. That means it's whole wheat when it might not necessarily be whole wheat. Same thing goes for multigrain. Multigrain doesn't mean whole wheat. It simply means many grains. So it could still contain many refined grains and not a ton of fiber. All natural. This is the label that you see on everything, and there is no regulation behind all natural or the label natural. There's no regulation. Anybody can put it on there. It has no set definition in terms of foods, but it does kind of have that health halo around it where if you see the word natural, you think it's automatically healthy. So again, that being said, I will link my video on looking at the nutrition facts label and the ingredients list and what to really look for rather than to be swayed by the labels on the front of the food. The next question was, can low stomach acid cause GERD or aka heartburn or acid reflux? Yes, is the short answer. This is more of like a medical kind of term question, but low stomach acid can reduce the ability of the body to properly digest and absorb certain nutrients, and so that can kind of cause acid reflux. I'll go a little bit more into the interventions for GERD. I can speak a bit more on that. So certain foods that can exacerbate or can cause heartburn include caffeine, so coffee or sodas, really high fat foods. So like your fatty, fried, greasy foods can cause it as well. Acidic foods such as tomatoes or citrus, onion and garlic have been known to exacerbate GERD as well. Alcohol, caffeine, peppermint, carbonated bubbly drinks, and spicy foods as well. Some other things that can cause it that aren't related to certain foods, smoking can exacerbate it, as well as really large meals or eating quickly. So some things that you can do is kind of reduce or eliminate those foods I just talked about. Smoking cessation, when you not lying down right after you eat a meal, eating slower, having smaller, more frequent meals might help for you. Um, Having the head of your bed slightly elevated when you go to bed can help, or taking an antacid such as Tums. So yeah, those are the questions of the day. And now I'm going to talk about the Impossible Whopper, or the Impossible Meat. I think Dunkin' Donuts does like an Impossible breakfast sandwich now. It's the plant-based meat, vegetarian. meat analog that's being used and promoted by a lot of fast food companies. And I think you can buy the, ground meat at the grocery store now too. So we're going to break it down. The ingredients that are, I'm going to focus on the Impossible Whopper. So the ingredients that are in the Impossible Whopper, it's made of soy. So it's made from heme, which is the protein found in soy plants. It contains several oils such as sunflower oil and coconut oil, and then various additives. So if you're a vegetarian or a vegan and you're like really missing meat, or you do love meat, but you've cut it out for a variety of reasons, this is a great option. I think that the Impossible Whopper or the Impossible Meat, I haven't had the Whopper itself, but I have had the meat product. Tastes very similar to meat in terms of texture, juiciness, the meaty flavor. So I think it's a great option if you're somebody who's looking for that, if you're missing, meat in your diet. However, if you're eating these or choosing to have the Impossible Whopper over the regular Whopper in the name of health, you want to be wary. So nutrition-wise, the Impossible Whopper is really comparable to the regular Burger King Whopper in terms of calories, fat, and sodium. Where nutrition-wise, I'm sorry, environmentally wise, it's sustainable, it's more sustainable, it's more earth friendly, it has a much smaller carbon footprint. So we're going to go more into the nutrition component though. So an Impossible Whopper with like on a sesame seed bun with all the fixings, so like lettuce, tomato, mayo, ketchup, pickles, and onions, has about 630 calories, 34 grams of total fat, 11 of those grams being saturated fat, the fat that you kind of want to limit, that you do want to limit, and then about 1,100 milligrams of sodium. So it's quite high in sodium. Just for reference, the recommendation for sodium is 2,000 milligrams a day. So it's quite high in calories, fat, sodium, and it has rather processed ingredients. While it may be a healthier option than some other items on the menu, it's nutritionally similar to the regular beef-based Whopper that you can get. And therefore, if you're choosing the Impossible Whopper in the name of health, or you're thinking it's having it every meal of the day, it still is something that should be enjoyed in moderation, just because it is rather high in fat and sodium. And I think this is, the Impossible Whopper is a really good example of, that health halo that's placed on certain foods, including plant-based foods. So I think that, a lot of the times, you see the word plant-based and it's immediately assume that food is healthy, more nutritious, when it really might not be. The Impossible Whopper is a perfect example why that association shouldn't be made automatically, and why you should be looking, like I said earlier, at the nutrition facts label and the ingredients list. When you see the billboards for the Impossible Whopper, it's written in green. There's leaves and plants around it, or like plants growing by the name, and that kind of gives the association of natural and healthy. And it is really deceiving. So yes, the Impossible Whopper is plant-based, great option if you're vegan or vegetarian and want to treat yourself to like a burger that tastes like a real burger. But it should not be eaten regularly, just like its counterpart, the Whopper. So like another example is like Oreos are vegan. Does that mean that they're healthy? Does that mean that they should be a regular part of your diet? Probably not. I won't judge you if it is, but probably shouldn't be. So if you are trying to go plant-based and you're looking for more guidance on that, there are studies that show, going plant-based, it can lower the risk of many chronic diseases and improve your many chronic diseases. But the best way to do this is to eat, mostly whole foods, such as your whole grains, your nuts, seeds, legumes, plenty of fruits and vegetables, and plant-based proteins such as like beans, lentils, quinoa, tofu, tempeh, edamame is a great source of protein. So yeah, that's my spiel on the Impossible Whopper. That's how I kind of broke it down. Again, not something that if you do enjoy, that you should be cutting out of your diet completely just because you're listening to this and it's not as healthy as you thought it was. But just like any sort of fast food product, it should be enjoyed in moderation. And Carrie's saying, I love the way you say enjoyed in moderation. Oh, thank you, Carrie. If anybody has any questions that, anybody who's watching right now, if you have any questions that have just popped up, write them in the comment below. I'm happy to answer it. I'll talk your ears off for another minute or so to give you some time to write some questions. Otherwise, you can message me on Facebook or comment on this video, after I close out. I will share my YouTube channel on here. I've uploaded all of my nutrition mailbags that I've done so far onto my YouTube channel with little titles, so you can, check that out if there's something that you see about fiber, the nutrition facts label, about mindful eating or stress eating, or you're looking for healthy snacks. I have videos on there. I have my recipe videos that I've made where I've shown, how to make chickpea cookie dough, which is amazing, or plant-based lentil sloppy joes, which are so good. I do recipe videos on that. So check that out below and add your email if you want to be added to my nutrition newsletter. Call into my virtual office hours. I will link that below as well, where you can call in and we can just chat. Like if you just have a nutrition question, or you have a question about, what you're eating for breakfast, or if you want to know more about how to work on emotional or stress eating, or if you want help with managing blood sugars, managing heart disease, heartburn, high cholesterol, anything like that, I'm your girl. I'm here for you, and I'll be back here next week with another Maddie's Nutrition Mailbag, and I hope to see you then. Thanks, everybody.